Good morning to my friends and my lecturer that is student that teach us workshop technology. So my presentation is welding distortion and prevention. Introduction. Welding is fabrication process whereby two or more parts are fused together by means of heat, pressure or both forming a joint as the parts cool. Welding is usually used on metals and thermoplastics but can also be used on wood. The completed welded joint may be referred to as weldment. So our objective is welding can defects by faulty or poor technique, the inexperienced or unskilled welder, or due to fundamental difficulties in the welding operation. Besides that, distortion or deformation can occur during welding because of the non-uniform expansion and contraction of the weld and base metal, the heating and cooling cycle. Investigate distortion in welding and how to minimize distortion. As you can see, the welding defect. Welding defects can be defined as unacceptable imperfection during the welding process. Any unacceptable deviation with respect to set technical and design requirement in the welding process is termed as welding defects. Various parameters could cause the deviation from the ideal welding process as defined by the codes and standards. Wrong welding, human behavior, wrong electrode, poor process condition, improper job preparation, unskilled welder, incorrect weld parameters, etc. could be a few of such reasons. Defects in welding can occur at any stage of the welding process and they can easily be detected in forms of geometric imperfection. Such weld defect can affect both the inside and outside of the metallic structure.
External welding defect. External welding defects are found on the surface itself and can sometimes be recognized by naked eyes. Surface crack, undercut, porosity, overlap, character, underfill, septal, excessive penetration, art strike, are examples of in external welding defect. Internal welding defect. Internal welding defect exist in the material at some depth and are hidden from naked eyes. Incomplete penetration, slag inclusion, internal porosity, internal crack, incomplete friction, internal blowhole act are explained of internal welding defect. Internal welding process both internal and external type of welding defect are quite common. In the next paragraph, we will explore the type of welding defect in detail. Hot crack. Hot crack normally occur during the solidification stage, means soon after welding, depending on the tail location and mode of extrusion. Hot crack can be two types. Solidification crack, the occur in the wood material during industrialization process. Liquefaction crack, they occur in the crack HAZ has as a result of elevated temperature heating of the material then cause liquid of the low melting point concentration on the great weathering with metal processes high carbon or impurity content. Heat flow depression occurs. The crack can be wide and open and possibly narrow. Solidification crack occur in composition having a wide freezing temperature rate. For steel, solidification crack occur due to the process of high carbon content and impurity elements like sulfur and phosphate. During solidification, that element stretch such that interretinal liquid flame remain once the bulk of the work has solid. The terminal circuit of the cooling work bit can cause that to ripple from the crack.
Cold cracks. Cold cracks occur after the weld metal solidification in the grain conscience region of the HAZ. They are also known as delay cracking as they can normally develop after several days of welding. It lies parallel to the fusion boundary and its path is usually a combination of inter and transgranular cracking. The direction of the principal residual tensile stress can result in toe cracks cause the crack face to grow progressively away from the fusion boundary towards a region of lower sensitivity to hydrogen cracking. When that happens, the crack growth rate decreases and eventually arrests. Prevention. Prevention or remedies of porosity to reduce the formation of welding defect porosity. The following remedial actions can be taken. First, clean the weld surface and materials. Ensure that the prepared surface is free from oil, rust, or other contaminants. Number two is use of dry, good quality electrodes. Number three, optimize the welding process to allow gas to escape. And the lastly part, gas flow meter to be configured with the correct flow settings. Welding defect overlap. Welding defect overlap occurs when the weld pool overflows on the welding surface of the parent metal. In such scenario, the molten metal does not fuse with the base metal. Cause of overlaps is large weld deposition in one go, poor electrode manipulation, wrong electrode coating, using the electrode at the wrong angle, high current or heat input, incorrect weld positioning, and longer arc. Remedies of overlap. Use correct welding technique to avoid wrong arc length. Position the electrode at the appropriate angle. First, change the flat position. Use correct deposition during the each run. Correct electrode coating. Use low welding current and or low heat input. Welding defects solid insulation. Various solid particles may be included during the welding process. These welding defects are known as solid insulation. They can be various types as listed below: slag insulation, oxide insulation, flux insulation, metallic insulation, tungsten, and copper. So the conclusion here is we got from the welding investigation is that technical errors greatly affects the result of the welded workpiece. Therefore, experience in welding needed to be intensive and training cannot be given in a short period of time to master the skills.